Welcome back, Aquarius. It's September 2018, Dadichi here from astrology.com.au with a brief synopsis of what's happening for you this month. And a lot of deep emotional stuff is going to be coming up this month. The reason I say that is if I animate the chart for you, and you'll see that here, there's a very important new moon taking place here in this 8th sign of your horoscope, which is Virgo. You noticed also that Mercury crept in here on the 6th. So the 6th of September, then the 9th, indicate a convergence of energy here on this hidden part of your horoscope. This is the place of deep intimacy. It's the place of shared resources. That's why it's the house of intimacy, because you share your feelings and your physicality with another person here. You also share your money. So that's why the 8th house has to do with shared resources. So a lot of this stuff comes up, but because it's a new moon, it also shows new approaches, probably just flicking the old way you've been doing things, the way you've been relating to your nearest and dearest. And also take a look here, because we've talked about these two planets, Saturn and Pluto, transiting in their, well, Pluto particularly, but Saturn also now for another couple of years. Here, this 12th house, this is a triangular house to the 8th house. It's also a spiritual house. So there's a dominant theme here for you with, 6 planets in the 8th and 12th houses respectively. You can offset that with this really, really lucky combination. We noticed here too another transit that I hadn't quite mentioned on the 9th. A lot happening around the first part of that second week in September. You've already got Jupiter there, activating your professional life really nicely. And then Venus coming in there, which is actually your best planet, bringing with it some stupendous opportunities if you're able to not get too bogged down in this. What I mean by that is that you've got to deal with a lot of this inner stuff, but you do not want to be bringing it here into your workplace. These two areas have to have a very clear line between them. So you lock off this area from this 12th house stuff. This 12th house is expenditure. It's got to do with expending your own energy. I keep talking about this. Both these planets, Uranus and Saturn, are the key rulers for your sun sign. And we see here that being in the 12th house, you may really need to carefully reassess how you share your resources. See, this is expense, this is sharing. I think you're sharing too much, giving too much of yourself without due consideration for how that's impacting upon you. So that's a very, very important thing. The work thing I mentioned is triggered here, 13th and 14th, with the moon transiting this beautiful combination. And the moon and Venus is going to get stronger and stronger in its conjunction to Jupiter. I'm going to keep you posted on that over the next few weeks, more than likely in the next, let me have a look here, Venus opposite Uranus. Yeah, it's not going to make a significant conjunction till next month, and we'll get onto that next month. 11th house is friendships on the 16th, 17th. There's that 12th house expenditure thing. That's when you may have to bring the energy of that deep-seated stuff you're working through, the psychological stuff, into this 12th house where you can meditate on it, because the 12th house is also meditation. We mentioned the Mars here moving into Aquarius September 11. That's going to really bring a dynamic physical component to its influence on you. And when the moon transits that around the 21st, you'll be feeling that very strongly. There could be some impatience surrounding what you're doing, so you need to leave yourself enough time to get things done, to have the discussions that you're looking at. The next big thing here is this full moon taking place in your 3rd house of communication. So that's also going to play back in a way, or rewind back to this 9th house energy of the new moon that we discussed here. That took place in your 8th house. But that could be the soul searching you need to give you the impetus at this point to really start working through what it is you need to do to educate yourself. And I'm not just talking about work here, I'm talking about educating yourself in terms of your emotional intelligence, your EQ, as I like to call it. And that's important. And third house indicates a really great opportunity to communicate some of your feelings to the other. Fourth house here is a lot of stuff going on in your domestic sphere. Maybe some unexpected challenges or demands are placed on you, 27, 28. And this brings us pretty much to the end of the month here. Watch your health on the last couple of days, because it's showing us here that first few days of October you may be partying a little hard and have to suffer the consequences of that bad karma. Astrology.com.au, drop in there, check out what else I have to say for you, and circle back here this time next month, where I hope to have you company again. Bye bye now.